I ask that you please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the National Anthem and invocation.
Almighty Father, we gather here today to honor and recognize the outstanding future officers listed before you. As they stand before us, Patrick, family, friends, and your holy self, we ask that you continue to bless and watch over them as they begin their service to this great nation. We wish you to continue to invoke your wisdom, strength, guidance, and love, so that these future Army leaders may be fortified in their resolve to do what is right, compelled to act with honor and integrity in all aspects of life, and lead our soldiers with clear minds and strong hearts. Grant them peace when they are weary, strength when they are weak, courage when their resolve wavers, and faith when they are in need of your divine guidance and presence. We ask this in our Lord. Amen.
This afternoon's official party includes Lieutenant Colonel retired Frederick Johns, Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin E. Kavanaugh, and Master Sergeant Justin L. Hines. This commissioning ceremony represents a legacy and tradition that has served the Army Officers Corps for over 244 years. This ceremony marks the 48th year of Army ROTC on the Edinboro campus. Our guest speaker today is Lieutenant Colonel retired Frederick Johns. Lieutenant Colonel retired Fred Johns was commissioned in 1983 as an air defense officer. He served for 22 years on active duty. Most notably, Lieutenant Colonel Johns served as a professor of military science for the Fighting Scots Battalion. His military education includes the Officer Basic and Advanced courses, the Combined Armed Services School, the Command and General Staff College, and numerous acquisitions and contracting courses. His civilian education includes a BA in Economics and Business from Edinboro University and an MSBA awarded by Boston University in 1993. For an extended bio, please refer to the program. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel retired Frederick Johns.
You can do things, you can go places, they're doing their lives. Now you just, y'all hear me okay? All right. I'm old, but I make up for it by being slow and work. Colonel Beck, I'm sorry, Hines, distinguished guests, families and friends, cadets, soldiers, and my fellow veterans, and I see that we're represented by all the services here today. That's awesome. Welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this commissioning ceremony. Like the graduation commencement that's soon to be held, it's a celebration of an ending and a beginning. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brett Johns, and I had the distinct honor of graduating from this august institution way back in 1983. That's a long time ago. That's a lot of years and a lot of pounds ago. I left here and spent the next 21 years to change and actually spent half of that outside the United States. I've been in 3 different continents, 23 or 24 or 25 different countries. I don't really know if they can change it. I don't know how you don't count. 3 deployments in places I'd rather not do. And then one lovely afternoon in 2004, while I was sitting the Coast Guard, after having just completed a negotiation with a particularly difficult Caribbean colonel, I got a phone call my assignment notes. Yeah, I was interested in coming back to Edinboro. I looked out my window of the Coast Guard and immediately said, yes. Of course, time has a way of softening our memories. And I had kind of forgotten about your picturesque winters. And I had forgotten what it felt like to have snow from a 4-point contact with a cold, cold wind blowing in places it was never meant to be. So I found myself coming full circle, back to where I graduated, back to where I had been a cadet. And I got a chance to guide and influence some of your predecessors. The commission meets today, let me congratulate you on your academic achievements and on the friendships you've built while you're here at the university. Both will continue to enrich your lives throughout the years. Your parents and families, congratulations also. I know that you must feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in your graduate's completion of your studies here at the university. To the faculty, which you craft yourselves at the back, who knows what we're going to come to. In deciding what to talk about, I was going to use transformation as a theme. After all, the ladies find their mental transition from graduate, from student graduate, from cadet to military. And this transition is larger than any of you guys have undergone before. You're not just moving on from middle school, high school, and high school to college. This time you're going to leave the world of theory and make-believe and enter a world of reality and results. Where your character matters more than your feelings, and your actions matter more than your words. The transformation of being has been well worn, many revelations. It's always been fun. Instead, I'm going to follow a biblical path. Now, I'm not going to talk religion, but I am going to give you a sort of 10 commandments, if you will. A list of do's and don'ts. This list is not going to be earth-shattering. It's not rocket science. It's nothing original here. I'll bet up front, I've stolen one of these lessons from other men for the past 38 years. Men who are smarter and wiser and more experienced than I. So I paid attention and I tried to learn. And since Colonel Beckett was misguided enough to invite me back here, I can't resist the temptation to try one more time to pass some of my knowledge off to you guys. Very good. Thank you for listening. Commandment number 1, be willing to pay the price. Today's preparation will determine tomorrow's achievement. No one's cornered the market on success. If anybody is willing to put in the hard work and self-sacrifice, they want to live. Someone once approached a great violinist, Rich Christian, and offered this praise after a concert. I did my life, but Army. I did. That's already invested 4 more years to get on in. Some of your former schoolmates, they decide to spend those years elsewhere. Most of them already earning whatever little they're earning for the rest of their life. Don't throw your down payment away. You've been given the tools to succeed. Now find out what it takes to get you there. There is a price, but only you can determine if you want to pay. Commandment number 2, be self-disciplined. Emerson said that our primary need in life is somebody who will make us do what we can. And we've all had that somebody at one time or another. A parent, a friend, a teacher. From now on, you yourself will have to be that somebody. You will have to work to make yourself do what you're capable of. Self-discipline is simply self-control. If you don't control yourself, someone else will. Or worse, no one will. Then number 3 is sets of goals. That's not the same thing as being disciplined. Discipline is set your alarm at 5 a.m. in the morning and making yourself get up to PT. Goal setting is knowing why you set your alarm at 5 a.m. in the first place. What do you plan to achieve and how do you plan to achieve it? If you've ever done any land navigation, and I know that every one of you have, you know finding the right heading isn't always easy. If you don't have any plans to go anyplace special, then any direction is the right direction. But if you start from a known location and you have a specific objective in mind, then you need to take a precise direction and the right course. Choice, not chance, will determine your destiny. So make some choices, set some goals. Commandment number 4, learn to get along well with others. Studies reconfirm over and over again that people don't lose their jobs because they don't have the technical know-how or the skill required to do the job. Most frequently, the difficulty they have is that they can't get along with other people. As a leader, you will not please all the people all the time. But if you're fair and you treat them with dignity and with respect, you'll be able to please most of the people most of the time. And if not, you'll at least earn their respect. Be open to advice, especially from your platoon sergeant and your squad leaders. They have far more experience and knowledge than you do. Weigh what they tell you against other considerations, and then you make your decision. And while you're at it, learn not to offend. People seldom improve when they only have their own yardstick. I've made far more improvements in my life as a result of criticism than I have in their friends. So that's criticism. Commandment number 5, be a dreamer. We've often heard George Bernardshaw's distinction of men. Some men see things as they are and say why. I dream of things you never will and say why not. We need leaders like you that are in the army. Say why not. If you want to succeed, you have wildest expectations. You need to have some wild expectations. Don't be afraid to dream. Number 6, take risks and don't be afraid to fail. If you are not failing as a second lieutenant in the United States Army, you are not trying hard enough. You are expected to be bold and audacious. You are expected to learn, but we learn from our mistakes. Now, I'm not saying be reckless. Taking a risk is not the same as taking a gamble. You can recover from a risk, not from a gamble. Learn to tell the difference. Commandment number 7, stay informed. Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes said, man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions. I hope that's true. I hope that after your years here, your mind has been stretched so that you'll never be satisfied to stop learning about what's going on around you. Commandment number 8, be ethical. Know when to compromise and when to stick to your convictions. What you once knew to be right and wrong are still right and wrong. Much of the world has to learn that lesson over and over again, that being ethical is what's best for our nation in the long run. In the officer corps, we've never forgotten. Right has always been and always will be right. Commandment number 9, have some fun. You want to know how to have some fun every day of your life? Confucius said, choose a job you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. For the most part, he was right. When I left Edinboro in 1983, I was beginning what I thought would be a 3-year job as an Army officer. And I promised myself that I would only stay as long as I was having fun. It's now 38 years later, and I'm still wearing Army colors. But remember, no matter how much you love your job, keep other interests outside the job and maintain other friends in your life. They will serve you well as well. Don't take yourself too seriously, and remember life. Commandment number 10, define success in your own terms. Vince Lombardi, the great coach of the Green Bay Packers, once said, winning isn't everything, but wanting to is. Coach Lombardi was a fierce competitor, and he loved to win, but his business was just a game. There is no game on the field of battle. Life is too precious to categorize into phrases such as first and 10 or even fourth and 1. For soldiers, it's always first and forever. There is no second place on the battlefield. So here they are again, my 10 commands to lead this institution and enter the real world. Be willing to pay the price. Be self-disciplined. Set goals. Learn to get along with others. Be a dreamer. Take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Stay informed. Be ethical. Have some fun. Define success in your own terms. And I'm proud to stand before this group today and welcome these cadets to the profession of arms. Those of us who have been privileged to serve the American people in positions of leadership owe it to them to act in ways that secure real peace and real freedom. As these fine young men and women accept the commission as officers of the United States Army, and as you begin your career based on service to the nation and self-sacrifice, you will now serve as an inspiration to the rest of us. Today's soldiers want, no, soldiers demand competent, caring leaders who will train them and lead them to win. Today, I'm proud to say these young men and women are such leaders. So finally, as I fade further into the obscurity of retirement, and you, our next generation of leaders, begin your service, I charge you to live by this creed. No mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great, duty first.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and critical work. We ask that our audience remain seated during the reading of the official orders. At this time, the orders will be read, signifying the official change of rank from cadet to second lieutenant. Attention to orders. The President of the United States of America has proposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Jonathan Gervin, Jordan Hauser, Logan Watson, Margaret Whittington, Logan Becker, Joshua Bennett, Garrett Christopherson, Hunter Clemens, Noah Morris, Timothy Suter, and Alex Taylor. They are hereby appointed to the rank of second lieutenant in the United States Army effective 7 May 2021. Signed, the Honorable John E. Whitley, Secretary of the Army. Oath of office and pinning of second lieutenant rank will now be administered. As the oath of office is issued, I ask that you listen carefully to the words. The Army officer has a public vocation as an official of the government. Members of the Army Officers Corps are sworn to obey his or her lawful orders, and in doing so, perform their own public duty. In time of war, the decision the officer makes and the orders he or she issues may be matters of victory or defeat, life or death. Our nation's citizens place their trust in officers to provide a key component of our military leadership. and to give them confidence that our nation's security is in good hands. Following their oath of office, each lieutenant will give their first salute. The first salute, sometimes called a silver dollar salute, refers to the tradition of receiving one's first salute from the sergeant who oversaw the officer's pre-commissioning training. This tradition originated in the early 1800s when second lieutenants in training received a monthly salary of $25 in base pay, $3 for rations, and $1 to pay an enlisted advisor responsible for their training. The enlisted advisor pay was eventually discontinued, but the custom continues. Today, an enlisted member who the new officer deems as being instrumental in their personal leadership development approaches the new lieutenant and renders a salute. The officer returns the salute and honors the soldier's contributions with a silver dollar. Cadet Jonathan Gervin, Jordan Hauser, Logan Watson, and Margaret Whittington will now be sworn in by Captain David Ortons.
I, Dr. Watson, and have been appointed officer of the Army of the United States. The grade of second lieutenant. Do solemnly swear. Constitution of the United States. Sovereign is foreign and domestic. And against your faith and allegiance to the same. Taking this obligation freely. Without religion and representation. Discharged. So help me God.
Will now be pinned by Master Sergeant Justin Hines, Captain Robert Robinson. Second Lieutenant Gervin's first salute will be Sergeant First Class Denise Huskar. Lieutenant Colonel Kavanaugh and Master Sergeant Justin Hines will present commissioning documents to Second Lieutenant Jonathan Gervin. Second Lieutenant Jordan Hauser will now be pinned by her parents, Eric and Melissa Hauser, boyfriend Carl Weinreber, and a surprise guest, brother Joseph Hauser, who is a fireman in the Navy. First student, James Vila. Second Lieutenant Watson will now be pinned by his parents Ross, Renee, and wife Miranda. Watson's first student, Sergeant Brian Benson. And Master Sergeant Hunt will now present the mission documents to Second Lieutenant Logan Watson. Second Lieutenant Margaret Whittington will now be pinned by her mother, Tracy Jacobs. Master Sergeant Justin Hines. Lieutenant Colonel Kavanaugh and Master Sergeant Hines will now present commissioning documents to Second Lieutenant Margaret Whittington. Second Lieutenant Logan Becker will now be sworn in by Lieutenant Commander Retired Kevin Jackson.
Solemnly swear. Fourth and defend. Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith. Allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Purpose of the case. That I will discharge the duties of the office of this department.
She will now be given by her mother, Rochelle, and husband, Levi. Her first salute will be from her grandfather, Technical Sergeant Retired Bill Sankey. Master Sergeant Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents for our newly promoted Second Lieutenant Commander. Second Lieutenant Joshua Bennett will now be sworn in by Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh.
I, Dick Ford, having been appointed an officer of the Army of the United States, grade and second lieutenant, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
He will now be pinned by his father Neil and brother Zach.
Congratulations, sir.
Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh and Master Sergeant Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents to our newly promoted Second Lieutenant Bennington. Second Lieutenant Garrett Christopherson will now be sworn in by Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh.
I state your name. Second appointed officer. Army of the United States. In the grade of second lieutenant. Do solemnly swear. I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office which I am about to enter.
His first salute will be Master Sergeant Brett Christopherson. and Master Sergeant Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents for our newly promoted second lieutenant Scott. Second Lieutenant Hunter Clemens will now be sworn in by Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh.
I state your flag. I, Patrick Clemens, having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States. In the grade of second lieutenant. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith. Allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. That I will, well and faithfully, discharge the duties of the office. On which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
He will now be pinned by his parents, Bernie and Mary Clemens, twin brother Tyler Clemens, girlfriend Madison Marino, and best friend Sergio Gaudio. Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents to our newly promoted second lieutenant Clemens. Second Lieutenant Noah Morris will now be sworn in by Major Tina Hainish.
United States. British Second Lieutenant. Solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. That I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the I'm about to enter.
He will now be pinned by his parents, Ted and Christine Morris. His first salute will be Master Sergeant Justin Hines.
Don't help, sir.
Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh and Master Sergeant Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents to our newly promoted Second Lieutenant Morris. Second Lieutenant Timothy Suter will now be sworn in by Major John Suter.
I state your name. I have been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States. The Army of the United States. Grade second lieutenant. Grade second lieutenant. Solemnly swear. Solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And bear true faith. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And allegiance to the same. And I take this obligation freely. And I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation. Without any mental reservation. For purpose of occasion. For purpose of occasion. And that I will well. And that I will well. And faithfully. And faithfully. Discharge the duties. Discharge the duties. Of the office upon which. Of the office upon which. I'm about to enter. I'm about to enter. So help me God. So help me God.
Will now be pinned by his mother Teresa and brother Hunter. Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh and Master Sergeant Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents to our newly promoted Second Lieutenant Suter. Second Lieutenant Alexander Taylor will now be sworn in by Lieutenant Colonel retired Frederick Johns. This first salute is Sergeant Edinboro. Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh and Master Sergeant Justin Hines will now present commissioning documents to our newly promoted Second Lieutenant Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor of Military Science of Edinboro University of Pennsylvania, Army ROTC, Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Kavanaugh.
Hey, welcome family and friends. After you hear my speech, you may think that I got a bootleg copy from Colonel John. So mine will be a little bit more succinct, but I think I'm going to hit on some of the same points. So Fred, thanks for sending it ahead of time. Give me a heads up on what to say. I appreciate it. That's right. Hey, but it's been a true honor to have worked with this team for 4 years. We've got lifetime experiences and lessons and memories that are going to guide your future. We're going to learn from our missteps and build upon our success. For some of you, our journey began a few days before freshman year. We moved into Rose Hall. We were greeted by the seniors and the cadets. Since that day, your team has shown commitment, courage, and leadership. The 21 class of the Fighting Scots Battalion has been represented at Cult, Basic Camp, Airborne, Air Assault, Dive School, Operation Agile Leader 1 and 2, the Army 10 Miler, Nurse Summer Training Program, Ranger Challenge, Highlander Zero Week, Combined Field Training Exercises with our sister battalion. We have hosted alumni, we've had lunch at the President's House, we visited the Long Gray Mile at West Point, we've thrown smoke grenades at the cross-country course, conducted many a road trip to a variety of locations in Pennsylvania and Ohio, fired over 500 cannon shots, led color guard ceremonies all across the region. We went down to Slippery Rock for an Arctic Challenge. Master Sergeant had you rough march for days, and you've invited every local ROTC program to campus. Back in 2017, some of you started your time here on the ground floor of pulling security, wondering what's going on in the patrol base. That's culminated in the responsibility of planning and evaluating all training for the battalion, ensuring not only yourselves, but all cadets receive the best training possible, and all within this COVID restricted environment. You took a fully functional battalion. We streamlined it in a very difficult time, and it would have been easy to say there was nothing that needed to change. And you could have used COVID as an excuse, but you took the reins, you owned it, did an amazing job. Even in our COVID-informed training environment, we've executed over 50 training and planning events this year. For a battalion of our size, we've definitely punched above your weight class. I told you during 0 week, the less you see, the more successful you are. And I've had a boring year. Thank you. What you've done is learn and grow in order to prepare you for your own future. Your future success is dependent on, you've heard this before, time and effort that you put into ROTC. What you can't do is sit on your laurels and think your future commander is going to know how awesome you were as a Fighting Scots, even though you were awesome as a Fighting Scots. They're going to ask, what have you done for the Army lately? Or they're only going to assume you're as good as your last mission. So as you step into your Army career, what can you do to stand out and represent your potential? And here's where I spoke from Colonel John. The summary of bullet points that I've passed on during our classroom together. Listen to your NCOs. They're going to train you to be a great officer. Take each mission and own it. Support your soldiers and NCOs And don't give them a reason to doubt your dedication to the team. Go make the mission happen. Your peers are always going to be a great source of how to and how not to conduct yourself. You will only be as successful as the people that you surround yourself with. When you're the highest ranking officer, success rests upon your shoulders, as does any misstep. You're always being assessed, take the most minor tasking, and prove that you're ready for more demanding missions and projects. Don't self-select. If there is something that you want to do, go do it. You never know who's sitting on the interview board, and they may find that you're the perfect fit for their team. They can't tell you no if you don't ask. You don't have to be the smartest, the strongest, the tallest, or the fastest person in your unit, but you better be the hardest worker. 1/3, 2/3. Abide by it. Be easy to work with. You're going to encounter enough disgruntled people. Rise above it. Be fair, be humble, be hungry. And always have a contingency plan. And you are your only competition. Listen to your NCOs. And above all, you may have heard me say this more than anything, and you hear it at every commissioning ceremony. Be ready. The Army is waiting for you. Ask yourself, if the Army is ready, what will you bring to the fight? Thanks, team. So as a former master leaders, we have Fighting Scots. We got our team sign. When you're all the parents, really neat to see some of the basketball companies doing it. But it's also very Dave, thanks for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you direct your attention to our honor squad, who will be displaying the honor boards. The honor boards are a time-honored tradition within the Fighting Scots Battalion, displaying the names of every commissioned officer who graduated from Edinboro University. The third board is draped with the university target, further signifying the ties the newest second lieutenants will always share with the Fighting Scots Battalion. We will now uncover this board, officially displaying the names of our newest second lieutenants.
Please stand for the playing of the Army song. The words can be found on the last page of your program. Though it's usually customary to congratulate newly commissioned second lieutenants face to face, we ask that you please join us for a round of applause in order to adhere to social distancing. This concludes the formal portion of our ceremony. We thank you all for